Yes.
Hello. Good afternoon. Good afternoon,
Good
Sri
afternoon. Good
ma'am and
afternoon.
Sat sir. Yeah, as I welcome all of you to this first of a series of interviews, let me take the pleasure of welcoming our guests today, Siri Guru Prakash Kaur Khalsa and Sat Puram Singh Khalsa.
Thank you. Thank you.
I could spend the entire 30 minutes just introducing them. Such is the expanse of their life experience and journey in coaching. But since we only have 30 minutes today, I'd like to highlight a few key things about them. Siri and Sat Sir have founded together Alpha Stars over 25 years ago. They are co directors of the Innermost Shift coaching model. They hold ICF-MCC credentials. They are licensed trainers for NLP by Dr. Richard Bandler. They are certified by Marshall Goldsmith Stakeholder Centered Coaching, and both have honorary PhDs. Siri ma'am in intuitive intelligence and Sat sir in quantum jump. And above all this, they are both co-authoring two books, InterActional Excellence and Best Truly. I have known Sri ma'am and Sat sir since 2016. And when I see both of them together as a team, the words that come to my mind are calm energy. So, ma'am and sir, as I welcome all our guests today, may I please take this opportunity to invite you to share just a couple of words about yourselves. How would you like to introduce yourselves to our audience today in one or two lines, sir? Ma'am.
Thank you so much, Deepak. I think it's been a pleasure introducing myself. I would say I'm still a seeker, moving ahead and learning on the path to move towards being more pure and spreading that purity in people's life so that helping them to transform them from within themselves. So
Mhm. Thank
that's
you.
what I would like to talk about myself.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Sat, sir.
It's a great time for me that the audience is listening, and I can only share that I do my best every single moment that how can we give good values through a good coaching education that me and Sri has gathered over nearly 3 decades now. And it's time to really give from deep heart and our soul and spirit. So I continue condensing and crystallizing every piece of education that we together give it. And that's the simple introduction I have.
Awesome.
I think
Awesome.
that's what I can say.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon once again to all our viewers, and thank you, sir and ma'am, for this honor and opportunity to speak with you. For the benefit of the audience, I'll quickly introduce myself. I'm Deepak Kotak. I'm surely but slowly making my shift from Captain Kotak to Coach Kotak. I started my journey as a coach and facilitator in 2016 with the blessings of Sat Sir and Sri Ma'am, founding autSur. Yeah. And I thank you all once again for joining us on this journey. Ma'am, sir, our theme for today is ancient Indian wisdom, something very close to my heart. So, may I kick off our conversation with a question on how you see ancient Indian wisdom? When you hear this phrase, what are some thoughts it triggers in your mind? Ma'am?
Um, okay. Yes, it.
So for me, ancient is a word which means it has been since ages, which is already proven. Those vices, those pieces of information which are like a wisdom. So when we talk of ancient Indian wisdom or ancient wisdom, it's about the knowledge which the wise people gave us, which was already proven in those times, and till now, also science is not able to prove some, but prove some. You know, so the science which has been actually a science of about human, about living, about relationships, about it's just about whole thing about this life. So that's what I feel is ancient Indian wisdom.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Sir, what thoughts come to your mind when you hear the phrase ancient Indian wisdom?
To me, it means that something like eternal, something it, something like a truth that has revealed itself,
Mhm,
and only it could reveal itself. And human being or sages or people who were adorned with this kind of a wisdom for the welfare of human being. So few chosen one, maybe for whatever reason, it dawned on them, and it is for everyone to share. And the message it gives is that, like they have given it, if we have received it, we are there to give it. And that's the message it brings. And it also brings in my mind the sanctity and the sacredness it has, that no matter science is trying to prove it or not, it remains truth. Okay.
mhm,
So, like it's already, it was existing already, it has come to revelation, and it has come for a revolution, and it's come for evolution. And let's all create revolution with it and continue evolving with it. And that's what we have been doing. And this the thought it triggers in my mind.
okay, thank you, sir. This actually brings me to my next thought. I've heard a lot of people say that Eastern wisdom and its techniques are rooted in faith, mythology, etc., and not necessarily in science. Yeah, it is not evidence based. It is not proved. What are your thoughts around this, Satsa? If you would like to go first this time,
I could get the question, the voice chipped
I,
at the end. Can you
I'll
repeat
repeat
the
it.
question? Yeah.
I'll repeat it. So I've heard people say that Eastern wisdom and its techniques are rooted in faith, mythology, etc., and not in science. They are not evidence based. What are your thoughts around this?
All right. It is true that everything that first comes to our knowledge, it's rooted in faith. And that's a good word. So when someone reveals it to us, without having a faith in that person, we cannot take it. So faith is the prime factor that plays a role. However, when people take with the faith, there are skeptics around it, and they play a very positive role
Mhm,
when they challenge faith. And that is where the time to prove something which has faithfully taken up, then rationally also we prove it.
mhm,
Like, for example, if gravitation force was existing, it was existing. So whether we find out by calculation that what is the pull it has, that with which it gravitates towards Earth, it is irrelevant. It is not going to change. Yes, it might solve few things, that how much force I need to take a thrust off. So skeptics also play a good role. However, faith is the primary factor that is needed,
mhm.
and we work with it.
Okay.
So is true about every revelation that has happened. And I believe that, yes, it's rooted in faith, but science is trying to prove, but science takes too much time to prove it. I'll just
Mhm,
quote one more thing from the even modern science, people call it like neuro-linguistic programming. Like
mhm,
our eyes moves in different direction to access information. So
mhm,
whether neurologically today people are discovering that, oh, there is something inside that does it, and it is true, it doesn't change. Richard Bandler, who first found this phenomena happening and gave it a good structure,
mhm,
then we've been using it, so
mhm,
we faithfully took it. Proof is not required, but when we prove it, we get more faith into it, and few more come along with it. So
mhm,
this is a true statement, and I think that is how we can take it. And that is true even about scientific revelations. When scientists give a lot of calculation data and they give one conclusion, we have no understanding about what's behind it, and we just take it with a faith. That's true about the medicine, even they are formulated and which has so much of chemistry and what does it do in my body, I do not know. I faithfully take it from the doctor because doctor is authentic. Okay, so I say, all right, doctor has done something. Now I don't go and check the doctor's degree about it. So is true about the scientists of human being, rishis, sages, saints. When they came out through their conduct and behavior and sincerity, without, we can never equate with them.
Sure.
If I was good enough to equate with them, I would be equal. So the starting point is faith, and faith is a good word. And I believe that faith is a very scientific word that way.
Thank you.
So we should not be shy. We should rather accept it and rather happily say it, yeah, let's do it faithfully.
Sure. Sure. Thank you. Thank you. I like that. That it starts with faith, and faith is a good word, right? Thank you, sir. Ma'am, your thoughts on this?
So I think Sarah said quite a bit about it, but I think according to me, we are all born with that faith. A child, when a child is born, child has a faith in the parents that he will be taken care of, right? And of course, when the child is small, the child is not aware of it. But when the child starts walking, that faith is there that my parents are there. Even if I'm taking the first step at an unconscious level, my mother or father is there to hold me. So I believe faith is something which is instilled in you as a human being. Now, we do not have faith in, many teachings because of our rational mind. But then I think that's also a good aspect because that helps us to explore and reconfirm what Sir said and build in further faith so that, when it is proven, because certain things, when it is not proven to our eyes, we do not accept it. So there are still
Sure.
many things, we don't see the air, but we know it's there. If it does not exist, we will die, right? But still science proves it to make it kind of, putting it more instilled in yourself that yes, this was true, which was coming in from the ancient Indian wisdom. Only thing is that we have to prove ourselves.
Sure.
But I think faith is something which you, according to me, you're just born with it, and that really works. So if today, if I have a faith, I will walk. You don't have to think
Sure.
about it, right? It's so
Sure.
deeply ingrained in ourselves. So I
Sure.
think it really makes like that.
Thank you. Thank you. And something I take away from this is that it's there. The experience is there. Evidence may or may not help us imbibe it, but it doesn't change the fact that it is still out there, right? So,
Absolutely.
so one thing is having knowledge on the ancient Indian wisdom, but I've heard the saying that having knowledge is neither knowing nor wisdom. What are your thoughts on that? Siri, ma'am, if you'd like to go first.
See, knowledge is something which you are gathering from outside. I can read a book, it's a knowledge. Somebody is talking something, and especially now you have everything on the YouTube and everything on the media. I hear it becomes a knowledge. But when we talk of wisdom, wisdom is something when you really apply it, when it becomes a part of you and you start living by it, right? So it becomes, or something which we can say which is, a part of you, right? So if we can imbibe it and we can live it and we can really live that knowledge, it becomes a wisdom. And what is the other thing which you mentioned, Deepak, was?
So,
There are three things.
knowledge, knowing, and wisdom.
So knowing is something which you already know by virtue of just being inside, being in touch with you. Knowing is something which is like, it's just like knowing, that's it. So I don't have a better word to say what knowing is, but then it's something like which you already know. It's like I know that I am born as a human being. That's a knowing. You don't have to prove anything about it. It is just there. It's a part of you which is instilled in you, right?
Sure, sure, sure. Satsa, your thoughts on having knowledge and wisdom?
Well, like knowledge, she just said that can be acquired and can be given. Wisdom is something that we apprehend from deep within, and a knowingness about that confirm to us that, oh yeah, this is something really nice and to be very wise. Like I have my hands, I know it. It doesn't require any faith, and I know it. So there's a knowingness about I have my hands. So I know. So deep knowingness confirms it. So knowingness is sense of conformity
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
from where we speak, and when we have the knowingness about wisdom, or that will work for the greater sense, or it is for the greater good, and it can be really respected, it is sacred. From that knowingness, the wisdom become distributable. So I give it. So all laws of wisdom, like say in ancient wisdom, the law of karma. Now nobody has seen the life before and after, but from the deep knowingness, this wise idea has made people think that I am responsible for my every action,
Sure.
and here or there, this will become payable or receivable.
Sure.
May not be immediately today. I see few things. Now think
Sure.
about this ancient wisdom dawned on the awakeners of this world, who were the enlightener of this world. They distributed, they contributed this great law of human existence and karma and payback. From deep knowingness only, I can get a sense of conformity, because there is no proof will be given to me. So
Sure.
when some piece of wisdom is transferred to me, then from the knowingness only I start knowing it. So
Sure.
with faith I take it, with knowingness I get a sense of conformity, and I start living it. Okay. So that's how the but knowledge can be acquired from any source, and I may not have a sense of knowing about it from within me, and it can be a qualification.
Mhm.
Because let's not forget here, when you ask some words like wisdom, knowingness, and knowledge, they are very uh, contextual words. So different viewers and listeners will translate them into different experiences. But
Mhm.
in the context we are talking about today, so the knowledge can be made available, but wisdom is understood and confirmed with the sense of knowingness.
All right.
So that's
Thank you.
my
Thank you.
views about it.
Thank you. So, taking a turn a little bit towards the coaching environment. So, we heard about the Guru Shishya Parampara, right? And you do talk about this. So, my question is in two parts. Please share your thoughts on Guru Shishya Parampara, and are Guru and coach equitable? Satsa, if you'd like to start.
Let Siri answer this question. She is too good in it.
Sure. Okay. Thank you.
See, Guru Shishya Parampara, according to me, has been an ancient old time of Eastern culture. And as we talk of India, when there were no schools, there used to be gurukuls and there used to be madrasas, where if a child was sent, they used to have acharyas, of course. The acharyas would be people who would be teaching, like teachers. But the guru would be somebody who would know the potential of a person and who would help him to groom to that level in that context. So people, India had the best of artisans, India had the best of musicians, India had best of everything, right? Because the guru would just know, and guru would select the person, the right person to be, trained or live to, up to that what the child had the potential with. And guru never accepted the person as a shishya till the shishya was totally a kind of what do you call this, totally surrendered to the guru, that yes, I'm there, I'm like an empty vessel, now you can mold me the way you want to be. That was the original guru shishya parampara, what I understood from many scriptures and also from sir learning many things. So I think it started long back. And if we equate it to coach, you know um, I would not say that coach can be a guru can be a coach. But coaching is something where we have taken some part of a Guru Shishya Parampara and helping the person and enabling the person to get in touch with their power within themselves. Because that is
Mhm.
one of the things which Guru always did. He never gave a direct instruction to a Shishya, but he communicated, or a communion happened where the information or the knowledge and the wisdom what the Guru had would flow into the Shishya, right? And they would do it only when the vessel was empty. So also I think if I take some part of it from that, when somebody walks to you as a coachee or as a client or as a seeker, probably somewhere they have, though they have their own knowledge and their experiences and they have their own patterns of life, but yet they want to empty themselves and restart or relearn and kind of rediscover themselves. So I
Mhm.
would say that coach, as a coach, you are taking some aspect of helping them to go inward, exploring their potential and working on themselves. Okay.
Mhm.
And as a seeker, the seeker has to become empty, and that's a part of, I think, the whole coaching concept, where when the seeker is coming to a coach, he's ready or she's ready to be worked on. She's ready that I want to come out of these patterns, I want to really create a different life, I'm finding myself stuck and I don't know what I do about it. So we can take some aspects of it. But if you ask me, a coach is a guru, at least I do not say that, because for me, guru is beyond even a coach. So a
Sure.
guru can be a coach, but a coach can be a guru. That's not what I feel
Sure.
100% is true for myself, right?
Sure. I like that. I think a guru has the opportunity to be a trainer and a mentor, whereas a coach, in the definition as we know it, needs to restrain from giving advice. Yeah. Right. Excellent. Excellent. So, just coming to your book, some interesting elements of the book that I picked up, and I'd like to get your views on this. You talk about in your book the environment and conditions of life always remain uncertain and complex, and thus you must continuously upgrade yourself to remain relevant. This is exactly where this model will help you. I believe you speak about the interaction model. This is a very powerful statement. How will the model on interaction help us stay relevant in this uncertain, complex world? Satsa, would you like to take that?
Yes. The the point here is, if you talk from the interaction excellence model, see what happens is that the future, when turned into now, it does not give you a chance to use sometime your experiences of life. So something has to be dug out from within in those moments to deal with those moments. So let's accept this fact that future holds its mysteries, and it can it can bring any challenge or goodness just before you in a moment. And in those moments, we have to interact with each other, or maybe reflect on it, whatever shows up. So this process of interaction is like the process of, I would relate to the Indian ancient wisdom of the interplay of Shiva and Shakti. That means Shiva, that means that has not been revealed, and Shakti means whatever is available today. So use the Shakti to dig out more from the Shiva. Shiva means the total potential, and Shakti means whatever has been manifested and shown up. So when the time will remain always revealing itself, and the uncertainty is a constant and ever existence truth of life, that there will be always a complexity and uncertainty, and we have not to struggle to finish it. We have to prepare to deal with it, and that's where we have a very powerful tool available of interaction. And
Mhm.
we in our model do not call coaching conversation, we call as coaching interaction. That means it must internally enable the person to act and move towards excellence. So when we have coaching interaction, it means how can we dig out from the potentiality of the wholeness, the Shiva, the unmanifested. something to show up now, to manifest, to deal with whatever we have. Okay.
Mm.
So that is where this whole model of interplay of what's available and what's possible, how to make this both available and the possible interact and evolve something wonderful in this moment to deal with anything that has shown up,
Mm.
both good and bad as well. When I say good as well, it means I might get mines of gold before me. Okay, then I must interact and evolve how to wisely use it. Okay,
Sure.
so I might discover something or I might get said challenge. I must interact and evolve. The point here is that let's talk about the I will talk about the virus that was there, but I will talk about the computer virus that people put in. Now,
Hmm.
it's not the unwise people do it, it's the wise people do it. But they don't have the interactional excellence. That means when two people interact with each other, they don't move towards excellence. So they use the whole available wisdom, okay, with the same sense of knowingness or something that does not create excellence, that rather create destruction and challenge for people. So even if the good is before us or worst is before us,
Hmm.
interaction is a way to act towards excellence, and we
Hmm.
must all in, possess this ability. And this model that me and Siri, with the help of all people who have interacted with us, they all contribute to it. And even the sages and saints who interacted and evolved excellence. And we pondered over it. How have the Upanishads shown up? How have the Gita shown up? How have every scripture shown up? It is the result of the interaction between the awakener and the seeker. So seeker had sometimes as hard as question. What the what happens after death? So the awakener did not give the answer. It evolved the answers.
Sure.
And that is how the whole dialect or interaction has given a piece of excellence and one Upanishad came up, right? So anytime, good or bad, we must know how to use this model of interaction excellence to evolve. So that's my
Amazing.
answer to it.
Amazing. Thank you. No, it sounds extremely interesting. It will be fun to read. Yeah, and I will look forward to doing that. We are in the last few minutes of our session. I was just wondering, as a closing, if each of you could give us one guidance, one thing that people are always looking for is purpose and meaning. Yeah. With your knowledge of the ancient wisdom, with your thoughts and your approach to coaching, what is one tip, one suggestion you could give our audience to help them find purpose and meaning? Yeah. Sri ma'am, if you'd like to go first.
See, I think it's a very beautiful question. So we have different, so we have a bigger purpose. Like, the question is why we are here. What are we doing as human beings? What is the meaning of life? So many people come to me, when I'm coaching them also, this is a question they ask. So according to me, if we are looking in from the perspective of ancient Indian wisdom, the biggest purpose of being human being is to become a good human being. That's what I have learned from my teachers and masters. He says, if as a human being you can become goodness and you can create goodness in lives of people, we'll have good environment, we'll have people who can think wisely, we'll have people who will be, helping each other to move ahead in life. And equally, the meaning of the life, if I'm talking of, is also according to ancient Indian wisdom, is to take yourself, to live the karmas that you have come here for, and then transcend to the move towards the higher self. We also have another meaning when we talk about, coaching, and when we talk about in that context, and there is a meaning and purpose to actually everything that you're doing. Today, if we are having this session, the meaning and purpose is to spread the understanding or whatever we have a knowing to the people. So the meaning is that we are doing it. The purpose is that if somebody can understand it and even, reflect on it and take some part of the learning, they can effect a change in the life. So everything that we do in our lives actually has a meaning and purpose. like what we were talking when I was talking to you and some of the coaches, when we talk about, my meaning and purpose of becoming a coach is that how can I help others. I talked to one of the ladies. She says, my meaning and purpose of doing this, becoming a coach, is to help myself. I want to improve myself. I want to improve my relationship. So we are living with a meaning and purpose, right? So broader perspective is about life, and smaller perspective, every step, it actually is guiding us. And if we really become aware of it, I think that could also become a good guiding factor for our actions if we live with that. And that can also help others equally, who are around them, so that if you are doing that, I think people also start understanding and doing the same thing accordingly.
Sure, sure.
That's
Thank
my
you.
understanding.
Thank you. Sir, would you like to share your suggestions or guidance?
The one thing that I have learned is that the power of love. That when we want to survive or live and exist, helping other person to live and survive is loving, which means love is the binding force, and love is what we can live every single moment. And this energy of love is what we are here to spread, and that is the bigger meaning and purpose. So no matter what we do, if we ask our question, what would I love to do here? That's a one single question. I think we'll right size the focus on what we do, and we'll fulfill the purpose as a human being and a good human being that Siri was mentioning. So that's the message I have.
Thank you. Thank you.
So
And with your permission, if I may share, so for me, finding purpose was all about what I learned from you all, sir, and ma'am, is contribute beyond just yourself. Yeah. And you will find purpose. Yeah. With that, I'd like to thank you both for your time. Thank you so much for the lovely answers, the amazing
thank,
knowledge and wisdom that you have shared. Thank you very, very much. Yeah. And thank you to the
Thank you so
audience
thank,
much.
for
thank you,
listening in.
Deepak. Thank you,
Thank you.
audience. Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.